Blizzard just added new lore to a secret item in 10.2.5. Yes, new lore, new interesting stuff. This is what I love to see. Let's see what I missed here in 10.2.5 and what you may have missed.
I mean, Matt, Elune lore and a cool secret. What's this?
Yeah, this is just a little neat secret thing of Alar Shinu, the warglyph. Which is, I saw
Alar
this and I was
Shinu.
like, cool, neat, dreamy warglyph, that's sweet. And then I skimmed through this doc, I went, oh wait, there's like a whole thing. They really cooked super hard with this.
Oh, whoa, look at all.
There's literally...
I just noticed the scroll bar.
Yeah.
I assume this was it's over there, go click on it.
Yeah,
No.
This is a series of steps where you find a guy and you go to where the guy had some memories in the past.
Oh,
and
wow.
then it's all related to Elune. It's all related to...
Let me move my little...
like what a night elf would feel as a... like how a demon hunter would deal with the lack of connection to Elune from becoming a demon hunter. And how they would retread on that.
That's interesting. I wonder if they have something similar to Death Knights. If you don't know, the new Belemeth city for the Night Elves has a little tower, a specific tower, where it just belongs to Night Elf, Death Knights and Night Elf Demon Hunters. Like there's a little section just for the Demon Hunters and Death Knights, and they sit up in that tower. And I guess this must have something to do with it. Like, how do you reintegrate with Elune if you are now a Death Knight or a Demon Hunter? Because you've kind of ripped away everything that you once believed in at that point. This is pretty cool.
All ends, and I don't even want to spoil it, but it all ends in a pretty nice way. But
what's up, Darth? I'm good.
It gets you the warglyph, which leaves a trail of flowers whenever you fell rush.
Back to the crown table.
Which is sick as hell.
That's almost interdepartmental.
Does
Elune
condone the use of fel? What the heck? Look at this. Once you've obtained Shanu, you can head back to the Emerald Dream and to Lederon, and he'll have some extra dialogue to share.
Put on there, but
wow,
hell yeah, and this is one of those things. And because earlier on we were talking about the idea of this is everyone donating their stuff in their work into the bucket that we call this patch.
Yeah,
and
flower power equals
that
extra
is
DPS.
In many ways inherent with the scale of a game like World of Warcraft. The flip side of that is it means somebody can do this, and this is their thing that they donated into that patch. And this, didn't get a patch note, I assume, didn't get a news article, didn't get a video, but it's a thing in the game. And like the vast majority of people have no idea this is a thing. You just have to
find it.
The way to like organically have this experience this.
I love this kind of lore.
Oh, look at that night elf.
It's not in your face lore. It's like do some of the stuff in the game, and hey, man, you'll figure out some new shit that you didn't know before. I love it when Blizzard reveals lore like this.
Yeah, so
and has dialogue. How about I talk to him?
Yeah, if you're a demon hunter, you speak to Landeron, and he will say, I feel as though any moment the wind will hurl me back to the temple. So that's literally a hint. So you go back to the Broken Shores, and you find a thing, and then that leads you to the next thing, which leads you to the next thing, leads you on. It's literally just like, it is just a secret,
really
right?
Cool. It's like a
it's
secret storyline.
But it's a completely natural one, and it's specifically for demon hunters, which is going to be very cool for if you're in this patch playing it organically as a demon hunter. It's got that effect.
I'm sure there's a lot of content we miss if we just rush through it.
Flowers. You could very much imagine in a world where this wasn't all spread over the internet and stuff, and I imagine demon hunters, if someone sees this and goes, oh, I know a demon hunter, I'll send them the link to this. But if you were in a group with a demon hunter and you saw flowers underneath their feet, when they fell rush, you go, wait, what? How'd you do that? And they go, oh, right. This warglyph does it. It's like, what? Yeah. What do you mean? That's crazy. How do I get that? And stuff like that. That's like,
it's kind of cool.
More or less excellent. It's that kind of stuff that's a little bit of extra effort, a little bit of work, but it feels good that a lot of the stuff's here. A little special thing for the hunters. Did they need it? No. Did someone have an idea for?
Okay, but tell me more about it. I want to know.
Elves, demon hunters. How would they feel about this? World building.
What does Elune think about
player experience through the idea of this like random character that you probably never thought about? Just they have an experience, and that's the thing that's very good with I think a lot of the Emerald Dream kind of side stuff so far that I've seen. It's the small details they're doing very, very good at.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the small details on how characters feel about being in places.
It's
that
one of
they're
Yeah,
the-
the
willing to-
overall story arc could feel a little bit touchy-feely, huggy, grubby, not much war going on, not much action, no real, like, Varian taking down an entire fell monster, fighting off an army scene. There's none of that. But in the game itself, there's some really deep lore content. They've been exploring some interesting stuff that's not necessarily like this massive cutscene quest line. It's like this. Like a little item left somewhere that somebody finds and it leads them on a couple quests and they do a thing and all of a sudden there's this massive lore reveal that you would have never realized was even there.
Down super, super, super hard.
It's one
There's
of the
another
challenging things about modern
It's really cool.
game and how modern game is played.
Also, it keeps it away from the freaking data miners so it doesn't get spoiled before it's revealed in the game. That's
okay.
awesome too.
Because you think about, how many people... Okay, in chat, just drop a number. How many people do you think have organically found this in the game?
Not many,
And I mean,
for sure. not
obviously, who the hell knows? But it's probably not a big number.
many. Yeah.
Would you
There's
say
a bit of patch about the
hundreds?
Emerald Dream and didn't even
Probably not.
bother to give
I have
Druids
no
a
idea.
Lego.
My answer would be one person found it in the secret find Discord and then posted the word.
Druids kinda
But that's not
screwed
true.
up. Yeah,
Like,
so it's
probably
like-
quite a few. Like,
That's when I say organically.
mm-hmm.
Now, to the people who found this organically, just think about the experience that they would have had. And that'll be a thing that they'll remember in playing games.
Oh, yeah,
this
that's
year,
so
Where they
cool.
talk to an NPC and, a whole thing happened.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's one of those things. Do you make it slightly
Like
more
as a Death Knight, I think if I'm doing a quest, all of a sudden I get led on this little chain and I find out some new lore about the Lich King or something. Maybe a little cutscene where I see Arthas or something. Like that kind of stuff would blow my... It'd be very exciting because I would have never seen it before. I'm discovering something legitimately new. It brings the world back to life in World of Warcraft, where you're actually like this character exploring this massive world. That's what it's a world building thing. It's awesome.
overt so that more people experience it organically? Or, because as soon as it's just a list of steps,
If it's just part of the main quest line,
then it definitely loses something.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's just an interesting like this is somebody's actually trying something, trying their creativity,
Screw you,
and
Bush.
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's cool in a way where like will people talk about it massively? No, well, but it is there and it's cool and it's a real part of the quality of the game.
Mm.
So it's just the sort of thing that I ponder with how we metagame everything, and we're like, this is gearing, guys. This is transmog. 55
Right.
transmogs to get now, easy, fast, today, now.
Run your plus 20 so you
And
get
that's
this
just
many
how, and it's
upgrades.
nobody's fault, to be clear, because it's like if I'm making content, and we haven't really done any sort of collection content in like ages, but there's times you do that, and what do people want? They're like, oh, I want to play WoW, don't know what to do. And then they find a video that's like, here's 15 mounts you can get fairly quickly in Dragonflight, and they look at that and think, oh, okay, cool, I'll do that. I can, this has made this thing digestible for me now because I know it exists.
Yeah.
So it's like that balance between, the balance between just like you're in a world of Warcraft, do things,
Ooh.
and I want to engage in a game. I don't know how to engage in the game. Where is the content? I need a guide for the content. And then, of course, you think about it, you're like, I mean, how would you find half of this stuff? Unless it's a really obvious quest. Or, you make the quest a different color to say, like the blue markers in FF are like, this is a feature. Probably think about doing it.
Right.
It's a real, challenge, because then a game developer will say, okay, well, maybe we signpost via our achievement system. Maybe, we... But then you're like, oh. But by doing that, you've eroded its essence. And that's
True.
not a criticism of Blizzard or any other game developer. It's just a real inherent problem.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why, the tighter design space of an indie game just allows for, you've been here, we're focused, we all know what we're here for, let's go. Whereas, it's harder here. I know I'm soapboxing. I genuinely don't know what the best thing to do is.
It proves challenging because people don't know it's content when they see it's
Well,
content.
I want to see. Hold on. They didn't even say what the hell the Elune thinks. They just left the article behind. I want to know. I'm going to scroll back to where it says it. Because it did say it at one point on the screen. Here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Because they're chatting right now, and we'll get back to what they're saying, but I want to know. Okay, what? I can hardly believe your tale, but here you stand before me. What does this mean? Does Elune condone the use of the Fel? Was the dream itself speaking to you through my memories? What force bestowed the Warglaive upon you? So many questions to answer, but I don't know that I should continue using what, and then it gets cut off. I probably need to find this article. What force bestowed the Warglaive upon you? Yeah, very interesting. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. What powers I have in the defense of Azeroth, at least for now. You have helped me restore my vision of the future. My past had left me blinded for so long. Thank you, player. May we speak again soon. So it looks like it's a change in the way that some of these night elves are. You got to remember too. Night elves are very fanatical in their embrace of Elune and everything. It's the reason the high elves even exist. The high elves were banned away. They were night elves that were banned away from night elf society because of their use of the arcane. And the night elves were all about nature and Elune. You don't dabble in other magics. You don't do other things. Those other things are like blasphemy against Elune. So they banned them away, right? And then they eventually morphed into what became the high elves / blood elves, void elves, on and on it goes. But original night elves, they hate that stuff. They hate anything but nature and Elune. So I'm sure the same went for demon hunters and death knights. But here they are talking about a warglaive, which is specific to demon hunters, being gifted by Elune to a demon hunter, and making him think, well, is Elune okay with other powers like this? Is Elune all right with the use of other magics? Is that what this means? So this person's eyes, I guess, are being opened. This night elf that they're speaking to, their eyes are like being open to saying, oh, wow, what does this mean? Okay, Elune is okay with this. Should I be okay with it? That's interesting.
Signpost via our achievement system, maybe, but then you're like, oh, but by doing that,
Very cool.
you've eroded its essence.
Other magics like
And that's not
domination
criticism of
magic.
Blizzard or any other game developer. It's just a real inherent problem. And I guess that's why, the tighter design space of an indie game
indie games and stuff.
just allows for, you've been here, we're focused, we all know what we're here for, let's go.
They're less profit-driven, too,
It's
indie
harder
games.
here. I know
They
I'm
don't have
soapboxing
investors
it.
to worry about
Genuinely don't know what the best thing to do is.
a lot of
It
times.
proves challenging because people don't know it's content when they see it's content, and that's where I wonder about signposting in a way of maybe if there's literally an icon that was there's a secret here, that might be too easy.
Yeah, it's
Just because
probably
in the context of if you don't know what you're looking for, because secret finders would probably, because they're in tune in the way of finding secrets,
yeah.
they would see that and go, Demon Hunter special dialogue that's talking about a place. It's talking about a place. That must be a hint.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it interesting when I was playing through Paranormal Site recently. I definitely, because I haven't played puzzle games or mysteries or anything.
There's got to be a balance. It's hard to do. I wouldn't even know how to suggest to do it, but it has to be a secret in that someone has to discover it, but it has to be discoverable. It can't be the secret that just the entire patch passes by and no one ever figured it out, because then that's just lost content. So there's the perfect balance of how to do it, and I wouldn't know how to do that.
Long time, I was straight up going through it and going, it took me a long time to get what the game was telling me in a bunch of ways, in terms of how the mystery is unraveling and different characters' parts of it and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, okay, I definitely feel like if I were more in tune with what to expect or with their way of thinking, I would have picked up on things a lot faster. But it definitely, there's a little bit of signposting, a little bit of trial and error involved. Because
I
it was
agree,
part of
Moishi.
the
That's why I'm
actual
able
thing.
to read it.
But yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Misty. It's make something have a gold outline if it's special and you're able to do something with that as your class. And that would be a pretty, even just a gentle outline or even a bark or a whisper to bring your attention might be a good example.
Yeah.
Where if you're flying past and this guy goes, a fellow demon hunter, stop with me for a second. That
Could
might
be
be enough to go.
Yeah, that could be. They could do it the way they do the coins. The dragon riding coins. If you remember, when we first went to the Dragon Isles and you were discovering them, if you didn't have the add-on, the way you discovered them was you'd be just flying around and all of a sudden you hear a ping right in your ear, and then suddenly if you flew close enough to it, you'd be able to see it and find it, right? So maybe that's how they could do it. People are just wandering through and then there's a little ping on your map all of a sudden hey, maybe there's a little something here. You just happen to wander by something very interesting, and then it triggers you to find the whole quest line and everything like that. That could be a way to do it. They have that system already in the game. Like I said, they used it for the dragon riding coin things.
Oh, hang on.
That was
And
a
then
cool way to
maybe write it
discover
be
stuff in the
slightly
game.
less hinty or slightly more hinty, something along
As
those
long
lines.
as you didn't download the add-on.
I imagine. That's the thing where you don't want to signpost it too hard, because as soon as you signpost it, then you go, well, that's a hint. As soon as everything looks like a hint, the hint's very obvious. Basically, as soon as you look for a hint, it's obvious, because they have enough dialogue, and they don't give you like 8 paragraphs of dialogue with a hint buried in it. They say blah 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 blah. Back in the Broken Shore, and the Broken Shore is not bold and underlined, but it might as well be because it's a proper noun. If you know what I mean, it's a place, so people pick it up. So it is a little bit actually challenging, I think.
Yeah.
To do that. And I mean, I'm sure there's a whole series of mystery games and mystery novels and everything that literally struggles with how do we make hints visible but not obvious?
Right.
How do we make people think about it but not tell them the answer? So it's interesting that they're actually doing a pretty good job with this specific case, but it is a lot down to you need to have the mindset to get it. And then it's a small bit of content for a small amount of people. Is that worth it? And the answer is always, in the grand scheme of things, yes.
Mm.
But you look at it at any production-oriented angle and say no, and you're like, shit, what? What do you mean? Obviously it's not, when that person could have made content for everyone instead.
Opportunity
Clearly.
cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you go, no, because you just added a bit of soul to your game. And you're like, but I can't measure that on a spreadsheet!
Yeah. How many Big Macs could you have sold
Mm.
in that amount of time?
There's a good way to do it, and I think they're finding the balance on how to do it, and I love this kind of stuff. Again, it also keeps it away from the what's it called? From the data miners and stuff, right? It's something that gets discovered in game, and that's awesome. You tagged raid content where it's the raid? It's a good question. It's about to come up. Yeah, so very cool stuff. I love it, and I hope we continue to see more like this.